All right, we're here with Assimilate CDK, and I'm going to get into sharing my screen here and dive right in. So the idea with this is for me to start building solutions out using AWS's CDK system. And so if I go to the console, I think a good place to start would be to log into AWS. So let's get that cooking first. And we'll do this. And next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the cloud-based environment. I'm going to go to Cloud9, the dedicated CDK machine here set up. So I'm going to say create. And this is just a quick overview here of like CDK. I think the goal of it is to write code that sets up your environment. And I like CDK because it's actually completely controlled by AWS. And I think Cloud9 is probably one of the better places to do this. But I will compare with GitHub as well. And I'm also going to keep some of this code inside of my Assimilate AWS repo. Although no, I think I should probably create a new one. I'm trying to think which one's better. Let's do Assimilate AWS. Let's keep it in here. And I already have an environment set up here. I can just launch. So we'll have a couple different cloud-based environments. And we also can look at the AWS docs. We're going to pull up CDK here. So let's do CDK. There we go. Getting started with AWS CDK. Perfect. And so AWS Cloud Development Kit lets you define your cloud infrastructure. And you can see the different languages that are supported. And I think we're on... the constructs come in 3 flavors. This is layer, curated, patterns. And this in particular is a good one, right? Which is the Python one. And I'm going to try it a couple different ways here. And so we've got this environment set up first, which is my AWS environment. You know, if we type in AWS S3 LS, right, I can just start doing stuff and it'll talk to AWS for me. And the cool thing about this environment is that I've got Copilot. Do I have Copilot in here? You know what? I think I need to install it. Copilot. I think it is installed. Oh, interesting. I didn't enable it. And then labs as well. So I'm going to check this in, add to dev container, JSON, add this one as well. And then notice that this has now been changed because these are installed. And so I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to rebuild it. And then I'm also going to check in those changes so that in the future, when I launch this thing, it'll remember it. So while that's spinning up, I'm going to go back to this and we'll say assimilate CDK, we'll say a cloud-based environment doing CDK. I'll try probably more than one language. And the other thing I'll say here is I like to have fairly performant machines. It is interesting how they give you these different options. They're recommended, but I found that I like something that's a little bit beefier typically in case I'm compiling something or whatever. So I would say probably 16 gigs of RAM to 32 gigs. Let's see here, M4. I like this one. There we go. M4 2x large. That looks about what I want. And you can see there's systems manager here to access it if I wanted to access it remotely. And we'll spin this up. It says this can take a couple minutes. So we'll let this one spin up. And then we'll also go back to here and we can see this thing spinning up. Hopefully it spins up pretty soon. But I would say the first thing I want to try is just playing around with some, really making it kind of natural, what you would maybe do in Python. And so we can see here, the different prerequisites of how to get started. And let's go here, bootstrapping. So many AWS CDKs stacks that you write will include assets. Huh, interesting. So CDK, AWS CDK toolkit is the main tool to interact with CDK app. So we'll document everything as we're doing it as well. So this is going to take a little bit for this thing to get set up. But there we go. This one's up. So we can open in Cloud9. And what is kind of cool is they've added some things here. So if I wanted to tweak the VPC, for example, or I wanted to manage the EC2 instance, like add more storage or something, which is interesting. I guess I could just click on it right there, which is definitely pretty cool. But anyway, I'm going to go into Cloud9 here. So we can see here AWS Cloud9. Welcome to the development environments. And the goal with this is that you can do a bunch of stuff in AWS. Now, I would say the first thing, there's two things I'm going to set up. So first thing I'm going to set up is I always set up a virtual environment just because it prevents issues. And then we'll just, we could even just echo it. I could be lazy. I could do this. I could say echo source tilde venv bin activate, and then echo that to tilde.bashrc. So if I say new shell, there we go. Right, we've got a sourced pwd. Nice. Okay, so now what I can do is clone this repo here. Just we can to use GitHub. Now we need to uninstall. So yeah, this is telling me to. I guess I have Copilot installed already, but I will do this. Let's say git status. Copilot. We'll get rid of this one. In the future, I'll use that, and I'll say I'll add the dev container. We'll just say adding dev container. But we've got a couple different ways to play around with this environment. We can play around with it inside of the Codespaces environment, and we also can play around with it in here. So let's first start with AWS. And in fact, notice that there's Code Whisper here, right? I do want to play around with that. And we also have CDK here. So it says no CDK apps found in the workspace. So let's play around with the way that they want us to do it. I mean, I guess first, let me check out this code. So if we say get remote -v, let's go to here. Let's go to repo. We want to check this out. So we want to say get clone. It's not going to work because I have to set up SSH keys. And then we're going to cat this. We'll throw this into GitHub. Here we go. Settings. New. Cloud9. Got this one. So now if I do a clone, it should work. And if I cd into there we go. So at least we got something cooking here. Now, I am curious about this CDK. I've never used this before. So if I right click, oh, there we go. So it says no apps. It says refresh CDK Explorer and also view documentation. Okay, AWS CDK for VS Code. Interesting. So this is VS Code? Okay. Well, next topic. Working with an application. The version must be 1.7 or older. So let's try it out. Let's see what version we got in here. If we do that, looks pretty new to me. And then if we go back to this here, we can update the README file, and we'll just add a section here about CDK. So we'll say CDK1, CDK lesson 1. Let's do this. We'll say checkout version of CDK, right? That's one thing. We also can maybe give a link to this docs here, docs there. Okay, so we got this doc CDK version. And what else we got? So using it, you can manage stacks and resources, and you can do CDK synth, all this stuff. But it also says after you complete the tutorial, open up the content in the editor and expand the CDK preview, your applications will show up. Oh, pretty cool. So where's the tutorial then? So it says complete the Hello World tutorial. Okay, let's do that. CDK Hello World tutorial, Python. So let's put this in there as well. And we'll say, step 1 is complete CDK tutorial. There we go. And here it is. So first step, we do install Python pip install CDK lib. So let's put this in our project requirements right here. Oh, whoa, I already did that a while back. Interesting. So if I do make install, this is going to install a bunch of libraries. It's pretty nice. And as that's installing, then if we want to test it, we can just make sure that that works. So once this is done, then I'll see if this works. Okay. So now if I do this, we can run this. There we go. It's working. Kind of a long import, but it was working. Okay. Next up is that supporting programming languages. We can test this out. So it does look kind of like Boto 3, to be honest. Prerequisites, we don't need all that because we're in cloud. So Cloud9 already gives us the ability to run this. Install globally. We already have it installed. Deploying stacks with AWS CDK requires dedicated S3 buckets. Huh. This is called bootstrapping. Now, I don't remember if I have set this up or not, but let's assume that I did. If you create your profiles, I think I did do this. Hopefully I didn't delete it recently though. And then next steps. Interesting. So I guess we'll find out. And then the next thing we're going to do is build your first app. So let's go to Python and we're going to init a Python app. So we'll go here. CDK init, cannot run in a non-empty directory. Oh, so we got to make a directory called, I don't know, CDK hello. And we'll change into there. So let's do that. There we go. So once the virtual environments, So let's see what everything that it did. So it says that it blank project is set up like a standard project. So it creates a virtual environment. We source it. At this point, you can synth it. So let's run that. Emits the synthesized CloudFormation templates. Oh, there we go. Looks good. So if I click on this icon, oh, there we go. Look at this. Pretty cool. It knew how to figure this out. Oh, I love this. And condition. Wow. So what does all this do? So it just kind of shows a structure. Is that what it does? View source on GitHub. Weird. Huh. I guess they're going to keep working on this tool, but it looks interesting. So then the after it's been created, enter the following two commands. So I think this already happened inside of here, but let's try it again. So I'm almost certain if I say which Python it is, if we look at the command that they want me to run, which is this, let's just run it. There we go. I guess I did need to install that. So it uninstalled this and reinstalled it. Or no, it installed a slightly older one. Okay. And no build steps necessary. And then we can do CDK ls here. That's taking a while. There we go. So we've got our local stack. And now what do we need to do? So we want to, the CDK AWS is part of the main library. So we don't need to do anything. We can define an Amazon S3 bucket in the stack using the bucket constructs. So this would be hello CDK stack. Now I don't know if that's there, but let's try it out. So if you go back to here and we go to CDK hello, and we look at hello stack, this one. So if we grab this, oh, I see. So there's no code here. We need to populate it. So we need to actually just swap that code out. So we copy this. All right. I mean, this is kind of icky, and we'll call this my first bucket 11222023. Pretty cool. And then we can synth this. Synth up. So cannot import name CDK. So what did I do wrong here? So something's screwed up. Oh, because what was it before? Let's undo this. Because CDK hello stack is the issue. I need to be more surgical about this. So it's hello CDK stack. CDK hello stack. It says cannot import name CDK hello stack. CDK hello stack. line 6. But if I do run this, that does work. So no, it doesn't work. Oh, because I know what the issue is. No, I don't know. I do know what the issue is. Cannot import name CDK hello. Oh, I need to save it. So let's save it. Now I bet you the synth will work. It's probably some kind of name conflict. So right now that's saved. Okay, now it works. So what I need to do is be more careful, and I need to just maybe even put this in like another file or something, like just temporarily to compare the two things, and even put this here and just look at the difference here. So what do we got going on? So we got import AWS CDK, import AWS CDK as CDK. It's weird the code is so different. Import AWS CDK.AWS S3. Well, it doesn't hurt to put this in there. And if we look at this, none of this needs to be changed. I think it's because this name is different. That was what the issue was. And then if we go to here, we can just nuke that there, like that. And we change this to 11, 11, 22, 202, that. That could be the issue that I had. It was just that I changed the name of the class, which it needs to be match with what the name of the folder is. Well, at least that's not as bad. We just have a missing. Now, this is where the linting really does come in. And so if I was going to work on this in more detail, I would definitely do like a lint in a format inside of here, because this is classic stuff that Python can fix very easily, in fact. And so I would, but for now, just to go for speed, I'm not going to do that. But in the future, I will do that. I'll set up a linted format so that the code can be formatted automatically. And what do we got going on here? Oh, there we go. So we got it. That was it. It was just the name has to match the name of the other thing here. And so how do we deploy? So we synth it, that worked. Now let's deploy. Let's see. Now, if I didn't delete that bucket from an earlier time, I should be able to do a deploy. And that should create a new bucket for me. And then I got a hello world. So this is exciting because now that I got this thing, refreshed my mind here. So I think it's because I probably didn't. Yeah, no. See, I didn't create a. I didn't bootstrap my accounts, and so let's just fix that real quick. We can bootstrap it real quick. Let's go back. Go. There's got to be a back button here. Bootstrap. Let's run the bootstrap real quick. CDK bootstrap, and we'll just run this. So let's get our ID here. There we go. And then I can bootstrap. Whoops. Do bootstrap. There we go. And I'll just throw that in. US East 2. Although I think it gave me a warning. I could just copy it. It says, there we go. US East 1. There we go. How about that? Nice. Got it sorted. And now I'm going to do a deploy. And hopefully the deploy will just work. Don't save. I'm pretty sure it is going to work. Yep. Well, what is this? No bucket. Is this Bootstrap? Do I have to do more to bootstrap it? So this is called bootstrapping. So why did that? Current credentials. It says failure, no bucket. Maybe it took a while to create the bucket. Or did I screw it up? Account number, region. Huh. I could double check to see if that that bucket is around. If I go to S3, cloud. We got that one. Config bucket. Yeah, not sure. Not sure why this is having issues. Bootstrapping. Let's try to deploy. Current credentials can be used. There are for the right account. Proceeding to Bootstrap. No bucket. Name CDK. Well, looks like I had a failure here, which is not a big deal. I can fix it next time, but it's kind of fun to have a failure. It just means it's something to fix next demo. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to get status, add CDK hello. I'm going to get commit, adding CDK demo. There you go. And we can just use this. There you go. All right. So a couple weeks from now, I'm going to keep going down, but this is CDK V1.